I am 34 and my wife Sarah is 36. We've been solid for 7 years. Or so I thought. Last Tuesday, the phone rang at dinner, and Sarah's face just dropped. It was her former mentor, Elias. He's 60, alone, and just got a terminal diagnosis. 10 years ago, before we met, he practically saved her career. He paid for her final semester when she was broke. He was the father figure she never had. Sarah told me she needed to move into his guest house for his final months, to be his primary caregiver. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the AC. I told her, Sarah, we can hire a world-class nurse, we can visit every weekend, but you can't live there. She looked at me like I was a stranger. She said, he has no one else, Mark. Compassion isn't something you outsource to a paycheck. I tried to be logical. I said, marriage is a partnership, and you're choosing a ghost from your past over our present. The kitchen was silent, except for the low hum of the dishwasher. Our golden retriever, Cooper, let out a soft whine and put his head on my foot. Sarah just shook her head. I thought you were a bigger man than this, she whispered. The next morning, I offered a compromise. We'd pay for the best hospice care money could buy, and she could spend every afternoon there. She called me cold. She said a dying man needs a hand to hold, not a receipt for a private nurse. 2 days later, she asked me to drop off her old photo albums at his place. When I got there, the house smelled like stale tea and medicine. I found Elias in the sunroom. He looked fragile, but his voice was sharp. He looked me dead in the eye and said, she was always the one that got away, wasn't she? He wasn't talking about a student. He was talking about a regret. I went home and told Sarah what he said. I expected her to be shocked. Instead, she just looked out the window. Being there with him, she said, it reminds me of who I was before I settled into this. The vibe in the room shifted. It was over. I told her if her heart was in that guest house, she should be too. She didn't argue. She packed a single suitcase. She didn't even look back at Cooper. The front door clicked shut, and for the first time in 7 years, the house felt far too big. Now her family is calling me a monster for abandoning a dying man. Am I wrong for wanting my wife to be mine?